PowerPoint. Thank you very much. Dear friends, it is my pleasure to attend this event. I would like to express my sincere thanks to the facilitators for this opportunity to share experiences on this important topic, how we can do better at preventing exploitation globally. I come from a small country of Slovakia, which we like to say is located in the heart of Europe. I represent here a non-governmental organization, Caritas Slovakia, which provides charitable, educational, social, and healthcare services to people in need, regardless of faith, race, cultural diversity, and gender. Caritas Slovakia has a long history of working with people who are vulnerable and marginalized all across the world. This also includes people who find themselves the victims of human trafficking. Anti-trafficking work of Caritas Slovakia has been protecting and caring for vulnerable victims since 2008, when Stop Human Trafficking project was established. Now I would like to share one story with you, a real story. It is about Adriana, a 20-year-old woman of Romani descent. She had come to the United Kingdom with her new so-called boyfriend on the promise of a good job. She was expecting to work in a restaurant and have an income she could be sending back home to her family. She trusted her beloved to have a beautiful future ahead of them. Instead, she was raped by two unknown men to whom her boyfriend had sold her right after they reached the country. They locked her up in a basement and forced to work as a prostitute. And this way she had to pay a debt she had allegedly incurred. She was receiving up to 20 clients a day. She was regularly raped and beaten by her traffickers to prevent her from escaping. Fortunately, she was rescued during a police raid, referred to the safe house, and sent back to Slovakia. Now she's doing quite well, though she suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder, and she, well, I know her, so it's hard. She cries always when she goes to take a shower, because first time she was raped, it happened in a shower. So what does this story tell us about the human trafficking situation in Slovakia? Poverty and lack of economic opportunities in Slovakia, especially in the eastern parts, make women, men, and young people potential victims of traffickers. They are vulnerable to false promises of job opportunities in other countries. Many of those who accept these offers end up in the misery of modern slavery. Their personal documents are taken from them. They or their families are threatened by harm, or they are bonded by debt that they have no chance of repaying. Slovakia is mostly a source and transit country for individuals subjected to sex trafficking and forced labor, mainly in Western Europe. Regarding forced labor, Slovak men and women are exploited in agriculture and construction works. The most frequent destination country is United Kingdom. The majority of Slovak victims of trafficking are women subjected to sex trafficking in the United Kingdom, Germany, Austria, Ireland, Switzerland, and other European countries. As Slovakia has a high population of Roma people, human trafficking situation relates to them as well. In Slovakia, there is about 400,000 Roma people, which is about almost 10% of the whole population. Roma people are vulnerable to human trafficking as they come from marginalized communities, are often underemployed and undereducated. Traffickers are usually prominent individuals in Romani communities. I would like to point out that Roma people, they are not only victims, but also traffickers. They find victims through family and village networks, preying on individuals with disabilities or large debts. Slovak women of Romani descent are commonly transported to the United Kingdom by deception or force, and they are forced to facilitate benefit frauds or to marry third country nationals who attempt this way to avoid deportation by marrying European Union citizens. Many of these women then become sex slaves or victims of forced labor. As for Slovak children of Romani descent and men, they are subjected to forced criminal activities and forced begging. Caritas Slovakia provides direct assistance to victims of human trafficking since 2008 within the program of support and protection for victims of human trafficking. This program is stipulated by the regulation of the Ministry of Interior, so it means that our project is fully financed by the Ministry of Interior. The main aim of our Stop Human Trafficking project is a direct help to trafficking victims by their reintegration into the society and providing comprehensive care. Caritas Slovakia develops an individual plan for each victim. We believe that victims of human trafficking need and deserve high-quality support to rehabilitate and gain back control over their own lives. We also try to help them regain their dignity and self-esteem. It is a long-term process because of the abuse that many victims have suffered. However, the provision of immediate and intensive support after they have been identified and rescued gives them the best possible chance of recovery. Within the program, we have 12 weeks, 90 days to secure the victim with immediate crisis support and assistance toward a new future. But depending on proceedings with each victim's case, this 90 days period may be extended to 6 months. But if the victim decides to cooperate with law enforcement authorities, with the police, then the victim is supported during the whole duration of criminal proceedings. It might be 2-3 years. In more details, we help victims by providing safe accommodation, medical care, legal advice, counseling, pocket money, educational opportunities, and we help them with moving into independent accommodation and with finding a job. Caritas Slovakia provides safe accommodation in 5 locations around Slovakia. We have shelter for mothers with children, for girls and women, for men, for drug and alcohol addicted, for ill and disabled. Each safe house is run by trained staff of social workers. Victims are referred to Caritas Slovakia mostly from the helping organizations abroad in cooperation with the police. Very helpful is also our national helpline for victims of human trafficking, which is free and easy to remember. The main task of the helpline is provision of assistance and the first contact information for those who could possibly get into trafficking situation. And the national helpline refers such individuals to the services of helping organizations. This helpline also aims at prevention and elimination of risks related to working abroad, and the calling person gets all the necessary information on dangers of trafficking. Regarding the 3 recommendations, I would wrap them up into one big recommendation called prevention. Here I suggest 3 ways how we did it in Slovakia this year. Although our Stop Human Trafficking project focuses mainly on reintegration of victims of human trafficking, in 2014 we have decided to aim our attention more at prevention, because we think that it is a key to cut down of the amount of victims. So we established partnership with several organizations from United Kingdom, such as Stop the Traffic, Unchosen and Eve's Housing, and started to work on prevention projects. First one we did had the following scenario. Do you want to see the world and earn good money? This is a slogan of our campaign called Giftbox. The promise of a better life, education, good job, and a loving relationship are the tags that sound irresistible and urge you to enter the big box wrapped as a gift. But as soon as you are inside, things change into what they didn't seem. On the black walls, you read the stories of people that fell into this trap. These are real stories of real victims from Slovakia. This is a unique way how we raise awareness about human trafficking. Through the Giftbox campaign, Caritas Slovakia have already warned hundreds of potential victims across the whole Slovakia. It has been displayed at schools, at shopping centers, squares, cinema, bus station, at youth summer festivals, and many other locations. A team of 15 volunteers have reached 9 venues. They spoke to more than 3,000 people and handed out over 4,000 leaflets. In December this year, we are moving to areas that are notorious for having a high risk of human trafficking. We want to make sure the word gets out to those who need it most. About a month ago, Caritas Slovakia has organized a film festival called Together Against Human Trafficking. The festival took place in Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia, as well as in London. Together Against Trafficking was the first of its kind film event. It aimed at inspiring young people and wider public to take action and mobilize their communities against human trafficking. The date was set at the occasion of the European Day of Fight Against Human Trafficking, which is 18th October. So why the festival took place in Bratislava and London? Human trafficking remains a threat both to Slovakia and the United Kingdom. Slovakia is among the top 10 countries of origin of victims trafficked into the United Kingdom. In 2013, 56 Slovak were identified as potential victims of human trafficking, but according to the reports from Slovak Embassy in London and the National Crime Agency on UK human trafficking, the estimated number of victims was much higher, speaking of hundreds, even of thousands of people. Therefore, we think it is important to take action in partnership to tackle both the supply and demand side. The core of the festival was 6 short films and documentaries, capturing several forms of human trafficking. The films were screened in the morning for about 100 school students. Then they were engaged in the interactive workshop. In the afternoon, more than 200 people attended the program, which was for general public. There was also a panel discussion where Slovak and English experts talked about the actual situation in human trafficking and were available for the questions from the audience. Afterwards, all participants were encouraged to write us and order a DVD with a film pack to organize their own film event. This way, they can help to prevent and disrupt trafficking in their local communities. Third of the actions I would like to present to you is the campaign Two Little Girls. It is just going to be launched this week. The campaign is named according to a short animated film that follows stories of 2 young women, Maria and Jana. They were cruelly deceived by people they trusted and were trafficked against their will into prostitution. The aim of the campaign is to warn young people, and specifically young women, of the dangers of being persuaded to travel abroad with false promises of employment, so that they don't find themselves sold into prostitution, consequently enduring years of untold cruelty. Our goal is to disseminate the anti-sex trafficking campaign across the whole country of Slovakia. How we want to do that? Two Little Girls film will be used as a starting point for discussion with young people in workshops, in schools and social institutions. For this purpose, Caritas Slovakia has developed education toolkit, which will be distributed together with the DVD among teachers, social workers, youth workers, and Romani mediators. They will be educated in a training on how to use the film and toolkit in their work. We also developed the accompanying materials, such as booklets, posters, and flyers, which describe what people can do to protect themselves and how they can get help. A special website has been created where the film, toolkit, and other promotional materials are available, as well as suggestions how they can be used. The film will be screened also on TVs in buses across Slovakia over 1 month. And also the film will be broadcasted in Slovak and Romani languages in national and local TVs. Through these innovative and inspiring campaigns, it is our vision to help human trafficking end. These campaigns should equip people with information and empower their decisions. Let's act together and inspire change. Together, we can stop modern slavery. Thank you very much.